Hey guys, Alex and Sophie here from the WAGs, and today we're going to talk about bitchiness.
I like that sweater on you, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you did there. You
Kidding. I actually do like a little bit of a skit, but I do actually really like it.
It's actually a sweater dress, but
I might borrow it.
yeah,
For real.
well, whatever. Not after that little comment.
Well, we'll see about that.
So yeah, back to bitchiness. So we're kind of talking about this. I don't even know how this kind of video came up. I think we were just saying earlier how it seems like no matter how much you grow up, bitchiness amongst women seems to sort of exist and it keeps on existing.
Keeps on existing. Like, no, it's really funny, isn't it? I think we know that this is a bit of a downer subject, especially with the festive season just around the corner.
I know.
Like,
Merry Christmas.
Bitchiness.
Here's the Grinches.
Oh, here you go. Here's your present, bitch. It's a brick. You know what I mean? It's a bit of a downer subject, but the funny thing is, like she said, you can grow up, and I struggle to think of a woman that I know, no matter how lovely, that never bitches and has never bitched or said anything bad. And by bitching, we don't always mean like backstabbing. Sometimes we mean kind of just like saying things about other people.
Yeah, I just think
that
like
aren't
just
always
cattiness, isn't it? It's
very
just cattiness.
nice.
And I was speaking to my mum the other day, and she was having some like issues amongst her like group of friends. And I kind of said to her, I'm like, really? Like, you guys are in your 60s. I'm like, do you still actually worry about this kind of crap? And she said, honestly, you'll come to realize people just don't grow out of it. In fact, it sort of gets worse. It gets kind of worse as you get older. So yeah, I mean, personally, I think as I've gotten older, just tender, well, not tender.
I'm so tender.
Not tender, I don't really know what I was trying to say. But no, I think as I've become a bit more mature, I think I just like to deal well, I deal with bitchiness in a way that I have my close group of friends, you know, the ones that tell me the truth, and obviously we can get pissed off at each other and we'll get annoyed with one another, but when it comes down to it, we'll actually talk to each other about our problems, and I won't go to one person and say, mother beeper, I can't believe she said so and so and so, and I just sort of, if it's something really, really bothered me, I'll tell them to their face.
I think that's a really good sort of
it's a pretty basic way of dealing with it.
I think it's a really good way to deal with it, because I think when you're a little bit younger, you almost feel like you can't just be like, hey, can I talk to you about something? Like, the other day you said this and blah, 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 and you know, kind of clear things up. And then someone says something and everyone's like, oh, and everyone's dying to talk about it kind of thing. And like you said, I kind of agree with you. Like, nowadays, now that I'm a little bit older, I find that it's just easier if it's really negative and it's bringing you down, whether it's talking about someone with someone and you don't really feel comfortable and you know you shouldn't be doing it and you don't really want to be that person, or people are talking about you and you know it, and you know, you're worried that if you confront it or say something or just shut them out of your life, that you'll lose them as friends. They're probably best not in your life, and you'll feel
this is it.
Liberated. It's like, get out on the line.
This is it. Exactly, Australian accent sound.
Australian.
No, I'm sure, I'm positive that there's been times in like the past couple of years or something that if like a friend did something really little to annoy me, and I kind of, sorry, I have something in my eye, as always happens like when you're filming a video.
When you have cats.
Yeah, because when you have cats, unfortunately it's an everyday reality, but yeah, sorry. I'm sure that if something kind of small annoyed me and a friend of mine brought it up with me and said, oh, did that annoy you? I'd be like, yeah, but if it's not like a big enough issue for me to bring up, I won't, if that makes sense.
No, I totally agree. Like, you don't want to be petty. Like, people are going to say things every day. Like, even people really close to me, like my bestest of best friends or my parents or my family, people make comments and sometimes they hurt and they don't know it and they don't mean it. But I think more I'm referring to sort of like, people that just have nothing really much to say but just want to say stuff about other people. Yeah, so they maybe it's about you, and maybe you hear something. They
have nothing else to say to the person, so they sort of resort. Because I think women do that. I think women
they sort of band together that way.
I don't mean to, like, I'm not a hater against my sex. Like, I'm all for women, and you know, women.
Ooh, feminist.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I do find sometimes, like, I think bitchiness is the go-to if you have nothing else to talk about.
It's kind of
like,
reality.
oh, you know, did you see what so and so was wearing the other day?
It's like the common thread. Yeah, amongst all women is kind of like, did you see that? I did. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes I think it could be harmless and funny. Yeah. And weirdly, men bitch too. Weirdly you think they wouldn't. And sometimes I see my husband and they're out and then they're gonna like, oh, so that did, you know, like they're the bitchiest of all.
Men like a bit of a gossip. They say they don't.
Everyone,
they do.
Yeah, they're like, oh, women are so bitchy. It's just like, You guys are worse.
Yeah.
Dude, everyone's pretty bad.
But I do think that I think sort of one rule that I like to, you know, have with myself is if I wouldn't say it to the person's face, then I try not to say it.
Do you find yourself though that you do bitch? Well,
no, I'm sure that I do. Like I
think I'm guilty of it too.
No, I am guilty of it. Like if something really annoys me and like I don't know, like if I'm sure we do it with each other sometimes. You know, like
but I think it's also because we're quite close. I'll tell you something, but I'll tell you something, but it's more me telling you how I feel rather than me being like, oh, you're gonna love this.
No, we don't have to do that a lot.
I don't know. I find that like not a few times. I'm sure the times in my life when I have been involved with this with other people, and there's a lot of other girls, and everyone's sort of talking about somebody else. If I happen to get involved, or I'm involved in the conversation, and I go home and I think about it, I do feel bad, and I do feel like, why do I allow this into my life, kind of thing?
Yeah.
And some people say, oh, what's your New Year's resolution? Oh, mine is just never bitch about anyone ever again. I don't know if that's realistic, but obviously, I don't think it's realistic.
I don't know if it's realistic 100% of the time. But you can just do your best. You do your best. Like I said, I try not to say things that you wouldn't repeat to the person to their face. Like that's why when something really actually genuinely bothers you about a person, like they've said something hurtful, or you've heard that they've said something about you.
When I bitch about you, I tend not to want to tell you the stuff to your face.
Yeah, exactly.
Ever, and I wouldn't be able to say it to your face. That's why I do it. That's why I do it.
That's what you do behind my back. But no, I think like if something's truly bothered you or hurt you about another person because they've said something or they acted in a certain way.
No, but sometimes it's not even that.
No, I know, but that's what I'm trying to say is like.
Oh, then that's your beef. You should sort it out.
Yeah, you should sort it out, and also I think like those are the kind of things that if I say to someone and then the other person finds out, I have no problem saying, look, yeah, it did really offend me what you said or how you acted, etc.
But I feel like almost if you've been wronged, I can kind of not justify your bitching. I can kind of understand why you may go about it that way. So I'm not really talking about that though.
You're talking about the catty.
Some people are just not people. So the weird thing is, a lot of the time, people that are bitching aren't really like mean, bad people. I don't think they consider themselves mean, and yet they get wrapped up in this whole, you know, oh, she's doing that, and a lot of it stems from maybe like insecurity or jealousy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm guilty of it. Like I'm a human being like everyone else, and I'm not here to be like bash those bitches. I know how I deal with them. I just cut them from my life because I'm different. And I'm so much better than them. It's not really like that.
No.
But yeah, I think going forward into the new year, 2015, I will make it maybe one of my resolutions just to cut like negativity out of my life because you just don't need it when you get older.
Yeah.
When you're younger, you don't know how to disassociate yourself from it. But as you get older, going forward, like you'll be a lot happier, a lot more relaxed, being with the people you know that you can trust, and just not having to have that negativity in your life.
Well, it's karma, isn't it? Like I feel like if you're a negative person and you talk about people all the time and stuff, it just comes back to you, and it doesn't fill you with like a good energy.
And I don't think your spouse or your close friends around you will trust you if they know that every single little thing you do, instead of having their back and maybe understanding where it came from, you're just turning around and being like, oh.
Yeah.
I was at Alex's house and she like had a total bitch fit. It was so out of control, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
It happens all the time. Yeah. So there you go. A little bit of a rant / kind of how we deal video, I suppose. I don't know if it was useful for anyone, but
it's always nice to have a bit of a girly catch up. Assuming we're all girls here. But if we're not, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope you enjoyed, and let us know if you like videos like this when we kind of just go on a random rant.
Yeah, sorry if it was like preachy ranty. I don't know. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. And we will see you in the next one.
Wags signing out.
Mm-hmm.